Hello friends, a warm welcome to Ansarkari. In the series, which we are trying to see from the perspective of prelims examination 2022, and we have started with the basics in the beginning, where we are picking up slowly but surely such concepts which will help you to have more refinement and understanding of your own revisions and your textbooks. Today we are taking up four concepts again. Corporal punishment. Heritage is something we have inherited. NGT and sustainable development. So we are not saying that you are going to get question on corporal punishment, but when we see the whole concept, we can relate it with the policy or the Right to Education Act, and that's how we can cherish it. So corporal punishment is a form of punishment. Very true. And it involves spanking, pinching, slapping, caning, which causes physical pain. It also includes action like confining a child in a room, denying the use of the washroom, or withholding food or water. Or children, we generally see in India, our parents, forefathers, and you can say Indian culture somehow had always believed that there must be certain kind of discipline, there must be certain kind of anushashan, there must be certain kind of sanskriti or vichar, but it has never promoted unmindful punishment, unmindful beating, physical punishment for the children. So in the long term, corporal punishment, it leaves emotional scar. It causes negative feeling of humiliation, confusion, and anger, and destroy the child's confidence. The child loses ability to think that he or she is the best. It discourages child from attending school, increasing dropout rate. So positive reinforcements may yield better results. Maybe for adults, we use deterrents, we use mild form of uh, penalties, mild form of deterrent measures. But for children, we must have a mix. So in India, physically assaulting child is a punishable act with a jail term up to 5 years and fine up to rupees 5 lakh under the RTE, that is Right to Education Act 2009. Also, majority of parents and teachers, they say that there a little bit of corporal punishment for children is all for the good. So what, how far do you agree? Please write back in the comment box. Early incidents involving emotions leave an impression in the mind, therefore the child gets scared. I agree up to certain and large extent for this. And making mistakes is part of the learning process. I definitely agree with this. This is part of the UPSC examination preparation also. For example, Columbia University, when it was asked the reason for sending so many successful people in the world and at such a renowned position, their answer was that we teach our students it's okay to fail. Students should be taught to learn from other mistakes and not to get scared when they commit mistakes. So we must promote this idea. We are using this idea at both the government and the private schools, and are definitely in homes. In the present generation also, parents, they promote more of a love bond, more of a they share more of a friendly bond rather than being harsh with the children all the times. That should be the norm. Corporal punishment comes from anger. It is immoral for adults to show anger in children who have not developed apparatus to receive such strong emotion. I truly agree with this. It's very difficult to implement such ideas rather than just reading about them. It's immoral to take shortcut of corporal punishment rather than motivating and persuading, which takes time, energy, and expertise. Time, energy, and expertise. So morality demands that adults develop emotional intelligence, forbearance, and persuasion capacity to deal with the young ones. That is what is the norm and should be the role model for society. Heritage is something we have inherited. It is not for individual. It is for collectively for the society from the past. It can something uh, when we say tangible heritage. So tangible heritage will include monuments, historical sites, artifacts, books, chola bronzes. Everything will be part of it. इंटेंजिबल हेरिटेज विल बी ट्रेडिशंस, कस्टम्स, रिचुअल्स जो आप छू नहीं सकते, सिर्फ फील कर सकते हैं, सिर्फ एक्सपीरियंस कर सकते हैं. So heritage helps us to understand our past, appreciate our present, and shape our future. It also enables us to question the wrongs of the past and give us chance to mend it. This is a wonderful aspect of heritage. It brings us close to different kinds of people by understanding and respecting their practices and how they originated. That is how India is a land of plural culture of unity in diversity. NGT was established in 2010 under the National Green Tribunal Act 2010 to work on the disposal of cases related to environment protection, conservation of forest and other natural resources. So it is a specialized forum. Yes, we agree it is a specialized forum. Effective and speedy disposal. Yes, we agree with that. People can approach the tribunal against the projects that affect the environment, or they may seek compensation for damages also to the people, the property due to violation of environmental laws. So I'm saying a statement, there are no human rights without environmental rights. I'm saying there are no human rights without environmental rights. Therefore, the right to life contained in Article 21 of the Constitution of India also includes right to clean and safe environment. कोई मानव अधिकार नहीं बचता है यदि आपका पर्यावरण सुरक्षित नहीं है. That is why in Delhi in the recent times Supreme Court have been very harsh with both central and the state government, asking them to take concrete steps for improving the environmental conditions of Delhi, especially in terms of air pollution. So Ministry of Environment and Forest is the nodal agency responsible for planning and implementing of India's environmental and forest policies and programs. Its functions include conservation of country's natural resources and wildlife, prevention and abatement of pollution. It is the duty of the ministry to ensure that development projects are not approved at the cost of environmental safety. Environment is prime, environment is the key to India's future also. So some of the important legislative measures for environment protection, that is the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. Before that came water in 1974, and then came in 1986 Environment Protection Act, which is the major catalyst for sustainable development in India. The Hazardous Waste and Management Regulations also came into being. Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Forest Conservation Act 1980, and the Coastal Zone Regulation Notification 1991. So you put them in a chronological order, try to see their implementation through everyday newspapers and see what is their status. Most environmental problems arise from the failure of the government to give higher priority to environmental issues. This is one issue. But protecting the environment is both responsibility of citizen and also of the government. What is sustainable development? क्या होता है sustainable development? So in few words we can say development that meets the needs of the present. Okay, needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. आज की जरूरतों को पूरा करने के लिए हम भविष्य को बर्बाद या भविष्य को हम ताक पर नहीं लगा सकते. We must minimize our needs according to the present circumstances. Living within our own environment limits without exhausting the natural resources is one of the central principles of sustainable development. Living within our environmental limits without exhausting the natural resources. The other principle is to focus on a strong, healthy and a just society. Just means equitable, accessible society where everyone is able to follow their aspirations and demands and opportunities. So United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development covers a vast range of issues such as ending poverty and hunger, ensuring clean energy, water and sanitation, good health, quality of education, gender equality, economic growth, responsible consumption, and peace, among other issues. If I have left out some important issues out of these, kindly write back in the comment section. Also, you must make a chart of all sustainable development issues, and also you must be able to see what kind of status India has achieved in achieving them, since now it is only one decade which is remaining. We have already entered into 2021, so it is less than a decade, I should say. Only 8 years are there where we have to implement all these in a true spirit and manner to create a Naya Bharat, a new India. So thank you very much. Wishing you all the best. I hope you are able to get a zeal and get clarity in the concepts. You are learning how to gel your studies with your understanding. That is what is our motto and goal. And for any support, get back to us. Thank you very much. Wishing you all the best.